Welcome to Leading with Artivism. Leading with Artivism is a live monthly interview series created and curated by Poet Gold in collaboration with Arts Mid-Hudson, featuring a diverse mix of artivists, artist activists who have taken up the charge through their art to highlight social issues. We invite you to ask questions and get an inside look at the hearts and minds of these courageous creatives.
You lucky I ain't telling you the truth. This is proof. Listen up, they trying to tell you what to do. Don't do drugs, you might like what you see. Think twice before you type, because your life could repeat. Think about it. Make a plan for the future, not the now. I stayed home from school cause that's my style. Bad teachers got me sick, Shaq sneakers. Ask me, I would've told you not to pledge that allegiance. I believe it took time to be me. Ain't no reason or rhyme, be odd to get even. So I only talk when I mean it. Imagine even me being gone for a season.
Yes. Welcome everyone to Leading with Artivism. I'm your host, Poet Gold, and I'm so excited to be here today because, I live in Poughkeepsie, and I'm not quite. Oh yeah, I've had people from Poughkeepsie on before, but it's been a minute, and so I'm so happy to have this gentleman on. Let me tell you a little bit about him. His name is Kix Capri. He is a visionary artist born and raised in Poughkeepsie, New York. He has been writing and recording music since 2010, staying true to his culturally aware message and boundary-shattering lyrics. The hallmark of his music is thought-provocative and self-improvement. He is a graduate of Howard University and a current student at Meharry Medical School. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Solidifying his stature as an intellectual and cultural trailblazer, Kix Capri is well known for his event hosting and community service efforts in Poughkeepsie, New York, as well as in Nashville, Tennessee. He owns a clothing brand simply named Capri, staying true to his simple but eclectic style. He also runs a media and distribution company, Stack House Media, which is dedicated to creating spaces for lifestyle improvement and portraying positive ideals for Black youth. Welcome to the show, Kix. We can bring him up on the screen. Hey.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm great. How are you? You have a lot going on.
Yes, definitely a lot going on, but I'm glad to be here. It's been a long time coming. I think we talked like 2 months ago about doing this. Yeah.
Definitely. I'm glad that we were able to make it happen.
Absolutely. Now we're here face to face.
Yes, indeed.
Virtual face.
Virtual face to face. Because are you still down in Nashville?
No, I'm in Poughkeepsie until next Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, we put up a short video, that you had. I don't know if you had a chance to just, see it backstage, but let's talk about that video a bit. I love the production of it, first of all.
Yeah.
What was the messaging behind that video? What was the stimulus behind that video for you?
So that was a video by one of my close friends and collaborators, Bryce Wall. He used to go by B-Mob, but now he's going by closer to his real name, Bryce Wall.
Okay.
And it's a video called Heartbreak Kids. He came with a perspective, more of a perspective of what living a fast life would be. And I came with the introspective, what living a fast life could get you. And it just let me talk, pretty much just ponder on what life decisions can give you and which different paths you can go down and how intertwined things really are in all of our decisions.
Definitely, and the consequences, for better or worse, because there are positive consequences based upon the choices that we have, and
right.
And that's what I was picking up in that clip.
Yeah. So one of my favorite lines of that song, which people ask me about all the time, which I'll just leave it to the audience to ponder, is "Don't do drugs, you might like what you see." It's you could take that as many different ways as you would like.
Right. So tell me, how has your upbringing shaped your drive? Because you're in medical school,
Yeah.
you know, you were local artist, here in Poughkeepsie, graduated from Howard University. Did you have a particular major at Howard?
Yeah, biology.
Biology. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was your journey like here living in Poughkeepsie that led you to the path of your art, and particularly um, your art portraying, you know, the improvement for Black youth who are making better choices. How
Hmm.
did all that come about for you?
I definitely have to give a lot of the praise, probably all the praise, to my parents.
Hmm.
Definitely have two strong parents who are still together. They're downstairs right now. My mom making some food, dad working. It's
Okay.
like, so I'm blessed. I'm definitely blessed. Manny and Mary, everyone shout out to them. um, they they gave me a foundation to be able to do the things that I like. And they're African too, so they still do have a certain stern qualities about them, that is, do this and do that,
Mhm.
but at the same time I know they want the best for me. So
Mhm.
growing up, I played soccer, I was in school, did good in school. My dad would give all of us $50 every time you got on the honor roll. So for
Mm.
me, in my head, it was just like, getting on the honor roll is not that hard anyway. I'll take the extra $50.
Yes.
So, so definitely that's one thing that, like, in my head, I'm even building financial responsibility, just like getting that $50 and knowing that if you do something consistently, that you will be rewarded for it. And so just being in school, playing soccer, knowing the community I have around me, all these things are building me up. And uh and then I would say, to become an artist, that that was what came more from the world
Mm.
than my
Mm.
parents.
Mm.
It was when I went out and, like, started hanging out with my friends and being around, and I'm starting to realize that everyone has different perspectives, and I just felt the need to give my perspective. I wasn't always as good as I am now at what I do,
Hmm.
as most artists. Like, I
Right.
wasn't that
Right.
great, um, but when I realized that I could express myself, and that um, I could actually convey messages through the music, then
Hmm.
I started taking it more serious. And
Right.
then I got to Howard, and Howard made me radical, and Howard made me not afraid of not afraid of failing.
Mm.
Like,
Hmm.
the things that Howard taught me were so important to, like, how I disseminate my message and how I learn. And
Hmm.
um, it just it gave me a direction. So things I learned at Howard gave me the direction for the rest of my life.
Wow.
When I left Howard, I came home to Poughkeepsie for 2 years,
Hmm.
and nothing was the same.
Right.
That's when now everyone in Poughkeepsie knows what the movement is, and why we do it. And I was able to um, get in contact with people in Poughkeepsie doing the same thing. So all that was a culmination of things that brought Six to Free to the surface. But before, I was just Brian.
Got you. It's interesting when you're talking about getting out, and
Hmm.
exposure. I always tell people you have to get out because getting out allows you to uh, change your lenses.
Yeah, yeah.
you know and
Yeah,
when you change your lens, whether it's momentary or a long period of time, or you're able to recognize that you're changing your lens,
yeah.
then there's so many other things that impact your lives that you can change.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then you're able to incorporate that into your own life.
Absolutely. Right.
So there's things that I would like chisel off of my character. I'll be like, I don't need that, but I'll take this. I can use that, and I do that every day now. When we say I learn something new every day,
right,
that's what it is.
absolutely. That reflection is
Yep.
important. My self work within myself is when I awake, I ask, what kind of human being do I wish to be in the world?
Mm.
For myself, my
Geez,
community, my children, and reflect upon that point and share that with others to do the same, so that we're conscious of it.
right.
We're conscious
Absolutely.
of our living and the decisions that we make. I don't know if you've done any teaching artist work at all. Have you
No, I don't
dabbled in
think
that?
so.
Okay,
No.
consider it at some point, because
Yeah.
I can tell you have a lot to offer. What advice, like you said, you went out, you got to Howard. Howard gave you the gem and the understanding of failure is equally as important. Don't be afraid of your failure. What advice would you have for a young artist coming up?
Young artists, I would say to get to know yourself, but then that would be just leading them on a goose chase, right? To go find yourself. Meditation,
Mm.
full stop.
Mm.
Meditation brought me to a space where there were things that are going on in my head that I didn't know were going on in my head. And I
Mm.
slowed down, which is why I'm confused why it's not taught in schools. It's not taught to 4-year-olds and kindergartners,
Right.
pre-K. It blows my mind to this day, because a lot of the times people ask me what changed from the time you were in high school till now. I just say meditation. I
Mm-hmm.
started meditating, and then everything else came from that. Then it became like, oh, but no, you do a lot of things in the community, and it's like, yeah, because I slowed down for a second and I realized like who I was and what I cared
Right.
about.
Right.
So yeah, I'd actually, if I was to give something concrete which you could do today, learn how to breathe deeply and
Mm-hmm.
meditate for maybe like start with 2 minutes a day, then go to 3, go to 4 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day. Meditation.
And those are transformative moments,
Mm-hmm.
meditation. And it's similar for some, like chanting. There are a few schools in the United States that have made it a practice, but I
Mm-hmm.
agree with you, it should be instilled in the schools. But there's also at one point, meditation and chanting was an affront to the religious institution,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and they challenge it.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say, I think that's why they challenge it. Yeah, because it's like it's they make it seem like it's either prayer or meditation or this religion or that religion. And I grew up Catholic,
Hmm.
but I don't think I ever truly prayed. People might find this controversial. I don't think I ever truly prayed until I knew how to meditate.
There it is. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Because what I've often explained to people, when you're in deep prayer,
Mm-hmm.
you are meditating.
Mm.
When you are saying, when you go to confession and they say to you, say the Hail Mary 5 times, well, you are chanting.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
you
That's
know. So
affirmations.
right, right. Wow. So meditating, absolutely. I agree with you there, man. We have to
Hmm.
take that moment to deep breathe. And I started meditating when I was very young. To an album called The Sound. I'm dating myself, and I said album. To an album called The Sounds of the Whales.
Who's that by?
I don't even remember who it was by. It was one of my favorite, and it was just whale sounds.
Oh, really?
It was just whale sounds. And I remember my parents would come into the living room and I'd be spread out on the floor. And my dad just thought I was so strange. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm becoming the whale. I'm becoming the water." You know.
How old are you?
I was about just when I lived in Washington Heights. I had to be about 12, 11 and 12 years
Yeah,
old.
that's early. That's
Yeah,
early.
yeah, yeah. But it was calming. Like you said, you get to that place of silence and the
Hmm.
noise.
And you're able to just hear yourself. It's
Right.
like a lot of the times we're just running around with chatter in our heads, and just me knowing that of myself, I can only imagine how other people's heads are and what they're thinking. And
Mm-hmm.
they don't pray, they don't meditate, they don't have any
Yeah.
source. I can't even imagine. Just please go meditate. And I wish that's something we can do for teaching is like find a way to actually put that through legislation. Like this
Mm,
it and unless certain people try and block it, like
right.
why not just put that in the curriculum?
But you know what? You might be able to get something through like
Hmm.
that now, given the
Right.
climate that we're in. You know, I think people
Hopefully.
might hopefully be a little bit more open to
Hopefully.
understanding self-reflection and the space that we need to be in, you know, in
Right.
order to improve society. So speaking of that, you have a short video that I call it the love video,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
you know. So if we can get that up, we have a wonderful person stepping in for Melissa, who's usually with us. Kate is with us today. I just want to shout out Kate backstage. So Kate, if we can show the next video one, love.
I'll be with your blue later. I'm the next wave, like I just got a new neighbor, new flavors for people who probably never do them back for you. Stop thinking about potential. Put your focus on the actual. Stop thinking about the words. When you know that shit ain't facts, they dropped it to a lowercase. I'm glad this shit ain't hit the capital. I just spoke the word. I was never trying to snap at you. You ever show me love, I would gladly show it back to you.
If you ever show me love, I will gladly show it back to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As simple as math.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Where was that? Where was that shot? What was
That
going
was
on there?
Cryptic Gallery.
I thought so.
That's where I've done most of my shows in Poughkeepsie. It's Cryptic Gallery. Shout out to Cryptic Gallery, Kevin, Ovid, who else is over there? Barry, Shannon, all the people at Cryptic Gallery gave me a space to just become who I am and become the artist that I am today. So that was in like 2019. That was when we first started doing it at Cryptic. So
Wow.
I didn't even have long hair like this at that point.
that was like pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was pre-COVID. Wow, it's crazy to think about.
Yeah, pre-COVID. How did and speaking of that, how did these last 2 years impact you as an artist or an expressionist? You know,
Hmm.
how were you impacted by this?
I'm when it first happened, I was working at Cumberland Farms. It's like a gas station over here
Okay.
in Millbrook, and I was transitioning to work in a hospital as a scribe for a
Mhm.
psychiatrist. So nothing really changed in my lifestyle except for like they were like wear masks now and don't go out as much. It was like I was still going to work.
Right.
I was still like I'm usually home doing music or with family or with certain friends, but I don't do too much anyway. So it was like I was able to actually like hone in on the things that I've been working on.
Hmm.
and and when COVID first hit, like the clamp down, it just gave me a different mindset to be like, okay, if the world's slowing down, then get ahead of it.
Mm.
So there's a lot of things that are happening right now that I planned for in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, even the med school thing. Now that I think about it, the med school thing, I was working on those applications at the time,
Hmm.
and it all just fell into place that I went to med school in the summer of 2021. It was just a lot of things that like we put our heads down and actually did it, and now it's coming to fruition.
Hmm. So hospitals shut down. I mean, not hospitals, but schools shut down.
Yeah,
Which put a delay on that.
yeah,
But you kept your music going.
absolutely.
While you were home and in your environment, and I'm sure that uh, helped you probably process maybe
Yeah,
the space, of everything that's going. Even though you were going back and forth to work,
yeah.
you're working at a hospital, so there was a lot going on.
Oh, definitely a lot. Yes.
There was a lot going on during those 2 years of time. Someone
Right.
asked a question, and they said, um, how can my art be used to help educate the public on social justice issues?
I like this question. I was thinking about that. Because if the person is asking, it means they want to help, or they
Right.
want to speak on it, or they want to be more aware. Um, my true answer, because like I said, I can't give the broad answer that you can't do anything with. I
Hmm.
would say,
I like that.
I, I would say, if you want to add social issues or in today's day and age, spiritual issues like the spiritual war that's going on, um, be of it, be in the community where it's going on, because then you're that's what you that's what you will produce.
Hmm.
If that's where you're being bred, like there's nothing I can get in the booth and say that won't have something to do with um, self improvement or
Right.
self awareness. I can't possibly, because that's all I do. That's
Hmm.
that's the spaces that I'm in. So imagine me getting in the booth and talking about shooting somebody's head off and selling drugs. Like, what? Who are you? That's not.
Right.
So if you really want to add that to your art, then be that.
Hmm.
In real life, read those books. In real life, those are the TV shows you should be watching, or those are the documentaries you should be watching. Those are the interviews you should be watching for from people that you believe to be involved in social justice or economic empowerment. Be invested in it so much that you are of the culture.
Mm. Yes. Yes. The key word be.
Absolutely.
Be.
Be.
Be. I'm sure you've heard people say fake it until you make it. And I've always been a front to that because I'm like, no, don't fake it. Be it.
Sheesh.
Don't fake it, be it. You know,
Miss
be
Gold,
it.
you are talking. You
You
are
know,
talking.
be it. No, you're talking because you said be, and that's just right. Right.
No,
Be that what
absolutely.
you want to be, you know.
Because like another thing I live by um is you get what you want. And I got this from Alan Watts, who's like he's passed now, but he was a Zen Buddhist, and
Hmm.
he did speaking and uh, he wrote books and did seminars, things like that. But he said the concept of karma was taught to us in like a Western way, which is you do something that will happen back to you,
Hmm.
or what goes around comes around. So he said, think about it more simply. You get what you want. You, if that's what you truly desire, then the world will give it to you.
Yep.
It'll fall in your lap, and you might not. You might have thought, I didn't want this. Think about your actions, though.
Hmm.
What
Hmm.
did your actions say, and why did it cause the universe to land this, or why did it cause God to place this in your lap?
Right.
You get what you want.
Right. 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 It's powerful.
Hmm.
That's and it's true. I believe in something very similar. It's very true. It's very
Absolutely.
true. And I always say to people, the universe will meet you halfway when you move in the direction that your life is intended to be.
And they'll meet you halfway. That's wild to think about. because we always think of it as like it's one-sided. Like this will just come to me. I'll just be here and it'll come to me.
Right.
It's like, nah, you got to take some steps
Right.
first.
You got to work.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
have to be part of the process. Don't just be praying and be like, hand it to me. Who are you?
Yeah, no.
Got to work at this.
I'm
Man,
with you on that.
I am so appreciating, the fact that your mind, that you're here and you're really sharing some gems with with the public, and I know that people are going to go back and they're going to watch this and they're like, wow, did he say that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So this was one of when I got the list of questions. This was really one of my favorites. So I was like, wow. Does music heal the composer or the audience?
Yeah, this was one I had to think about too. There's no simple answer to this. It's more about intentions for both parties. Because if I'm making a song, am I doing that to heal? Or am I doing that to make some money? Or am I doing that to make a club record? In my instance, I'm talking about from this side of art. Because then the other people, it might be a painting. Other people, it might be a video. So it's like, were you doing this to heal? And if that was your intention, then you're likely to get some healing out of that. And for the listener or for the consumer, what is their intention? Are they there because it's their friend and they're just clicking through the video and they just want to watch the video and say they watched it? Or are they there to heal? So that when you think about it, it's like there's no one size fits all for that question, but it's a great question because a lot of the things we do as artists, especially conscious artists, like we're talking about being of the community. A lot of artists in Poughkeepsie are conscious. Now that I think about it. And wait, where are you from, by the way, Miss Gold?
I've lived here in Poughkeepsie for 15 years, but I'm from Washington Heights. I'm from New York, born in the Bronx.
Okay. So New York, but Poughkeepsie now. So we'll claim you. We'll claim you.
Good. Thank you. I'm giving you permission to claim me. I'm like, at which point am I claimed? At which point can I say this is really my home? Because I feel like I'm rooted. You know what I'm saying?
No, you are because you're doing the work too. You're doing the work, and it shows. And I was gonna say, just like a lot of the artists that are conscious and are consistently aware of the message they're putting out, they're doing it for a reason. And me included, I'm putting certain art out because I know that this is the ways of the world. And when I'm gone, the ways of the world don't change. There's certain things that are timeless. And when you think about it, I don't want to say it like we're trying to save people, but we're laying out a message. We're kind of just giving it raw. And for the consumer, because I'm a consumer probably more times than I'm an artist, because that's how I became an artist. Is I have consumed enough to the point where I know what I want to present as an artist. But for the consumer, you would have to be in that mindset as well. I've realized that if I'm not listening to an artist for something, then you're not going to get anything out of that artist. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm listening to a trap rapper, and in my head, I'm like, he's not going to tell me anything. I don't know. What are you gonna tell me that I don't know? But they could be telling me something that could help me in life because
Right.
they're telling from their perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I think about that all the time because I make music that is very, very, very thought provoking. And sometimes I feel like people don't want to think.
Mm. Mm.
So that
Mm.
that pains me in a way, but then I'm
Wow.
like, the people that do want to think tell me that they love it. They tell me that it resonates. So why do I feel what makes me so special that I should feel that everybody should listen to my music and feel healed?
Right.
It's like people listen to music for what they listen to music for.
Mm-hmm.
So it, that's a great question. It's just like there's too many ways. There's too many ways it can go. People hear me and they're like, "Oh, that made me just want to go to the gym or something." I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, really? Okay, I didn't. That's not what I was going for, but I understand that."
Right.
So it really depends on what the listener is there for, what the consumer is there for, and both intentions on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Right. And sometimes those intentions, are not conscious.
Right.
It's a
That's very true.
subconscious thing that's going on. And I look at us as sort of being when you're talking about healing, being a vessel in which the art comes through, and that's
Mm,
that is where sometimes we become conscious and take ownership of it. Once we realize, oh, I've been doing this on a consistent basis and I'm doing
yeah.
a certain thing consistently, let me see if I do it more, if it's going to serve and help people. And so that's where
Yeah.
some of the intention begins to come into place.
Absolutely. And now that you say that, uh, it does make me think like a lot of the times I'm not the one putting these lyrics together. It just comes and
Right.
it'll be laid down in a way that sounds very good, but it's not my doing in a way. Like it is
Mhm.
coming from my mouth, it's coming from my mind, but it's definitely from another source. And
Right.
I can say this, but only people will certain people will understand that.
Right.
Um, because yeah, it's when that energy is put down on the canvas, it's there and it's there for people to critique, consume. It's there for them to tear it apart or build it up.
Mhm.
And it's sometimes I feel like I put too much effort into like the what the audience is thinking about it. And I'm like, why do you not get what I am getting out of this? Or why do you not see it the way I see it? But it's really not. I don't even feel like it's mine so much that I can have a say in
Right.
how it's consumed.
Right. Yeah. 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 And that's what I mean by the vessel. It's
Right.
coming through you.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it, it's
But
coming
then
through you.
we put it out though.
Right.
So when does it become like when is it ours?
I think it becomes ours on the intellectual side. So, and that's where the intention comes from. So like you said, sometimes things just come through. We write the piece, and the words are there.
Yeah.
The melody's there, and then
Mm.
you look back and you take in the world, and you say, okay, this is how it came. How do I want to present it?
Mm. So the presentation.
Right. The cleaning up. The editing of it. To then fit. It's almost like when your parents gave you that medicine that you didn't like when you were little, and they put a little sugar in it.
Right, right.
You know, so you may be giving
Yeah.
somebody a dose of what's real,
Hmm.
but let me put a little sugar in it. Let me put the hope in it,
Yeah.
so it becomes more palatable for you. You can take it down.
Absolutely.
You can take it down. You can digest it. You can digest
Sheesh. Man, I need to get better at that though.
it.
That I know for sure. Cause I be I'd be too invested sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes, I when I was younger, I learned from a good friend of mine. She was at, I've never had a chance to really say thank you, but she was at Brockbrook University, and she was like a mentor. And she said to me, she said, Gold, you always tell us what is. We know what is. Give me a little hope. And
jeez.
And so from my perspective, sort of like looking at what is the hope, because no one's dealing sometimes with what is.
Yeah.
So, but I got what she was saying,
But did you start giving the hope?
Well, you know what? I organically did. At that time, I didn't go back and go, okay, well, let me write some hope. It was an organic process,
Right.
for me. And that's a different story, ain't my show. This is your night, and so one day we'll.
Hey, I'm listening though. I'm a student.
Yeah. But it related sort of through a crisis in my life, and you're looking for the hope. So going back to what you said about being it, you become the hope you seek.
Oh wow, tying it all together.
Yeah, and so
that's real. No, I hear that. I hear that.
Yeah. So
I can understand that. That's why it's so many music and art is just so subjective that it's like, it's almost like, how can you critique it?
Right.
It gets to the point where it's like anything can be said, and you can say it's art.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, sometimes I feel like I'm taking it too serious, but then other times I'm like, I need to take it more serious. I don't know.
Well, I hate to come to a close of this conversation, man, because we have to do lunch or something, We
for sure.
We definitely do it, and
I'm
kick
home
it.
now.
Fantastic. So we'll make that happen. But what I want to do is bring up another video, because I know you have another video out there. Kate, if we can bring up one of the shorter ones. Mm-hmm. Actually, you know what? Let's do the. I like the energy of the.
Jollof rice.
That's what it was.
Yeah, jollof rice.
Okay, let's bring that up.
I got my jollof rice. I know I'll be alright. I got my jollof rice. I know I'll be alright. Keep it locked up. With my rastas. With my shot. Going wild. Sunny in the ocean, and money and emotion and peace. Peace and love. Reach for the sun, babe. You don't see me enough. I'm not the one that you treat like a crush, babe. That's the beat of the drum. But your time is later. My lady crazy and my lady baby and my love me, but my lady lazy, babe. My lady been saving me place in that. I all done on my flow and I go slow. Move to the left and the right like walk. The lights go low. Moving on it like I'm renovating. Getting situated. I got my jollof rice. Dance with me, know I'll be alright. I got my jollof rice. I know I'll be alright. Front seat, yo. With my rasta. With my shot. Go wild. Sunny in the ocean and money and emotion. Ooh, yeah, just keep going. Yeah, just keep flowing. Money in the ocean. Okay. Sunny come floating. Location, flip. Rotation, grip, flip. More patience. Wait. Hold on your waist. Wait. Now get that look on your face. Great. My heart could race. You looking like you could blow down the place. Hey, you get that look on your face. Hey, I get my hands on your waist. Wait, you got that look on your face. Asking if you ate some today. I got my jollof rice. I know I'll be alright. I got my jollof rice. I know I'll be alright. Keep it tight, keep it locked up.
Wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. Hey,
know,
thank you again for having me.
Oh
Thank
no,
you.
anytime. I hope you come back to visit us, and we'll follow you and see what's going on in medical school. And
Oh yeah, for sure, for
you know,
sure. You'll be with me the whole way.
wonderful, wonderful. Kix Capri, everybody. Thank you very much, Kix, for visiting us at Leading with Artivism. Next month, we're going to have a youth summit, youth artivism, and we're going to have a group of youth on here, chatting it up with me. So make sure you tune in.
We
And
love
share
the
this.
youth.
Yeah, absolutely. And share this one with your friends and family.
Absolutely.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Kix.